go work on that 826, or are you gonna sit and play with the bird all day?
God, he's labor intensive. Hangs by one toe. Freddie, you're quite a bird, but we have work to do. Work, Freddie. Do you know what work is? On the tape before this, we made the initial shell. We're making a little bit of an improvement on this one by taping the material. Well, we don't know if it's an improvement, a little bit of different. By taping the first layer of carbon around the edge of the mold before we actually put the resin in. That seem like it's going to work better, Dave? This looks like an upgrade right here.
As long as this stuff will stretch down in here.
Okay.
You say it will, I'll believe you, but I'd check this before we...
What you do down there, just before you put the other stuff in, is put a little piece of, another piece of material, another piece of carbon. So you got, in the point, you have two layers.
That's fine.
That'll work. Okay, now this tape around the edges is hopefully going to cure one of the problems we had with the original one, where it wanted to slide around. Now just keep... Nice. So we're going to do it with a piece in the back, and then we'll cut a doubler, what amounts to be a doubler, so the front piece is two layers. So we end the night with the fuselage in a bag, the wing in a bag, and tomorrow we start on what should be the most interesting part of this whole project, getting the Nomex installed.
I could sand this.
Hey, you're going to bed.
Okay, this morning Dave got down before us and took out the first shell, which is very flimsy at this point in time because we don't have the Nomex on it. What we're going to do is make up the second shell. Yeah, now when you get the Nomex in here, you got one spot here, something.
That's where the valve was.
Yeah, oh, okay, so we don't want the valve.
Look at this.
Okay, you fill it with Bondo. Bondo wing.
Bondo!
Actually, it's not too bad.
It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this at all.
And you still have you got to peel off the PVA here. Okay, the first thing we got to do, let's get the second shell. Now we're starting off here Thursday morning. Start off, get another shell in the wing.
Doesn't hurt it when you creak it like that.
I don't think.
Hey, you better get in the cage or we're molding. Hey, what Dave's going to do, we're going to start wetting this side up. We want to get one in the bag, and then hopefully later this afternoon take this one out, put the Nomex side. It's really a two-step process to put the second layer in. Again, some of the things that we've figured out along the way here, got to have the material prepped and ready to go, mold prepped, PVA in the mold. In this case, we have the Teflon sheet, which worked really well. Now, we had two choices. We could have put the Nomex in right at this point in time, but then you can't vacuum bag out the extra resin. So what we found in the course of doing this Ashley's wing and doing some of the other wings is by getting all the resin out of this skin, then gluing the Nomex in as a separate operation with the second layer of e-glass, it just makes for an overall lighter panel in the final result. Okay, you almost have, except the leading edge here. Well, you still have resin left, right?
I got a lot left.
Okay. Now the reason we can put extra resin in here, because what's going to happen is it's going to bleed right through once we put it in the bag. But if we have a dry spot, we're dead. So we don't really care about the extra. A couple of things that we did learn already, some of them are on the first videos. Once these shells are made, we can trim them real conveniently with the Kevlar scissors seem to work perfectly. So it should give us some nice edges on the elevators and flaps, things like that. Now if we weren't vacuum bagging this, of course this would be way too much resin, and that's a nightmare then. This just helps spread the resin out, pushing it down through. cloth going in. You have to do this in 2 pieces?
It's about ½ inch too short.
And just put little pieces on the end, if you can, if that'll work.
The door!
As you put the bleeder cloth on, you can see you just can press down and the resin comes right up through it. Now we're going to put, you got 2 layers of cotton for this layup? 2 layers of cotton? Okay, and then we're going to put it in the bag. And what happens, as the resin comes up through the bleeder cloth, it sits in the cotton, doesn't go back down. Dave said it had some kind of Teflon coating on it, or not sure what the coating was. Okay, now we're going to double cotton this. This is just acting as a sponge to absorb the extra resin. And when you're done with the cotton is heavier than the part. The cotton is heavier than the part, so if you didn't vacuum bag the part, you'd be doubling the weight of the part.
More.
Or more, yeah. You want to tape that down so it's easier when we put it in the bag? Put some little tape around the edges. And you always want to have the joint on the end that's going in the bag last. Have the joint on that end so this end doesn't start rolling up as you put it in the bag. And we just got to seal the end of the bag up. This bag didn't leak at all. This was a good bag? Okay. Well, we're actually using this the 2nd time now. And what we found is the blue connectors are much better than the green ones for whatever reason. Not sure we didn't. There you go. That seals the bag so the bag can't leak. Okay, that should be ready. We just got to hook up the airline and wait for it to bleed down.
Hook up the airline.
Hook up the airline. we could be vacuum bagging out in the garage with the. You know, that's one thing with that stiff tubing. You could probably go 100 feet of tubing without losing any pressure.
Oh yeah.
Or suction. But we want to get this so that we can work on a table on the other parts while you're gone. Dave's got to go to a business meeting, and Woody and I are going to try to destroy some of the parts while he's gone. We already got a fuselage out of the mold. These fittings are by far the best, and compared to the other ones we had, these are night and day better, more convenient to use. Who makes these fittings, Dave?
Nitro or something like that.
Yeah, we'll try to get the name and address if I can find it, or a phone number. Or
Call Welsh Flora Cardinal.
Call Midgley. They'll sell them at 3 times list price. All right, plug it in, baby. Let's watch it do it magic. Okay, now we're going to try to get as much of the bag out onto the wing as you can. That's the trick. So you don't have any bridges. If you get the bag onto the wing, you'll have less bridging. It's the only thing you can do here, and bridging meaning that this would pull tight and not suck down. Let the wing go out to the other side, just a tad. Okay, now that'll suck right down. Now because we have 2 layers of cotton, we may not see the resin come right up. Here it goes. So we have the second panel down there sucking itself to death while Dave's away at his meeting, and that'll be probably 4 or 5 hours. Okay, we got the second fuselage at it. Where's the first one?
Over here.
The first one was, this one is a lot nicer in fact. We got to clean the PVA off it. This one has a little nicer finish. We still have a problem up here where we would normally fill this with air epoxy light, but I have another idea where we can do this. I'm going to put a separate little piece of carbon in there. Okay, so we got, the first shell came out. We had several little defective areas. Second one is a whole lot better, but we're going to make one up. We're going to make it, now what we did, the first one is made with, I don't remember, 2 layers of Elliott's material?
2 layers in the front.
2 in the front, okay, so we're going to make one with Dave's material in the back. Now see, it has the peel puts water from taking it apart. The peel ply is inside. All right, so in a matter of, well, in 2 days, we've made 2 fuselages. We're going to make a third one while we're waiting for Dave to get back from his meeting. We'll lay up a third fuselage and stick it in a bag. And that's kind of redundant. We've already done that on the other video, on the one before this, so we'll just skip the video on this and get a third fuselage into the bag. On laying up this fuselage, which is the fourth one we made, we learned a really valuable lesson. Before Dave left for his meeting, see, we'll stick it to Dave on this one. What happened is he had set up a bag, and the bag is so small that it isn't going down all the way into the fuselage. So I have a feeling this is going to be an okay shell, but it's definitely going to be too heavy. There's just resin where the bag isn't going down all the way in. But because we're using a quick drying resin, we really didn't get a chance to make another bag up. So we're just going to have to kind of live with that and maybe use that for some other purpose. I'm not sure. In the meantime, I had an idea of something I wanted to try, and while we're waiting for Dave to get back, we want to have the shells that are coming out of here, the edges are all, what happens, the vacuum bag bridges it, it stretches it out. It always wants to pull up. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a plug out of solid Bondo. Just going to make a Bondo. We have plenty. We bought Bondo yesterday to fix the ring mold. We'll mix it up, trowel it right in there, and see if we can use that to our advantage, maybe, to, I don't know, you got to do the whole surface, the outside too, because some is going to come up on the outside, you know what I mean? So we'll take care of that. I'll try to run a flat surface over here, so we have a plug. Then when we make the next set of these, we can put the material in, and we're not going to know until we make a test. I don't know if that's going to be a test worth it, but we're certainly evolving step by step on this. And we're hoping Les is going to show up today, of course, with a lot of the new stuff he's got. We're hoping he's going to be back in action here within a couple of days, a week or so. Next thing we have to do is build a little edge, a box edge for the Nomex. Dave's outside cutting the Nomex. I'm going to try to lay this box up. Now what we did, we went down 3/8 of an inch with some yellow tape. That was the thickness that we relieved the mold. We brought the plug up that mold, Dave did. By using the tape, now we have what will be the center line for each piece. Woody's cutting up the back piece. And this actually just acts as a fence for our piece of Nomex. Dave brought the Nomex in.
I'm actually not looking.
As soon as we get Woody's end done, I'm a little bit faster than him. We'll be ready to put the Nomex in.
So it's a...
Okay, the Nomex is in there and it's a snap fit. It snaps into the whole the perimeter that we have in wood.
Okay, I need another.
Woody's taping down the edges just so we don't wind up with little pieces of Kevlar falling into the mold. Dave's getting what'll be, this side is going to get 1/2 ounce cloth. What we're going to wind up doing is putting resin on a table, rolling both sides of this so it's sticky on both sides, and then doing the 1/2 ounce cloth on that edge, and then hopefully getting it right in the bag. Now we're going to try to shoot this in real time because this is one of the more difficult operations, so it's always fun if we don't get it right on the first shot. You got a big enough piece? It won't matter if there's a joint in that.
Got a joint right in the center.
It won't matter. Let it overlap an inch even. It won't matter at all. You can just drop it. We're going to have to roll that full of resin before we put it back, so just the way you have it is fine.
Yep.
And it won't matter if it doubles up. There's so little weight involved in that.
Oh, sure.
This is the easy part. Let's reverse everything. This is going to be the last thing to go. The bag is ready. So that's the last thing?
Well, we can't put it here because we
No,
have the...
put it over on a chair.
It's got to go over there.
The 1/2 ounce, we're going to have to roll first, but we're going to roll a Nomex before that. So get this out of here one piece at a time. Okay, then we're going to have to roll a Nomex. We're going to have to roll a wing too. So take this piece too. Okay, and let's take the Nomex out. We know the arrow goes toward the television.
Yep.
That's our reference.
We did that.
Take this piece out. We know we have to roll resin on both sides of this, so we need a piece of Teflon. Lay the Teflon sheet the size of this. Roll it, Dave, roll it. Keep this on the edge of the table. We need at least as big as this. Throw to Dave a little bit.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll mix the resin, we're gonna lay some in here, trowel it in, wipe it off, so it's just sticky. I'm gonna roll this, roll both sides, put this piece in.
Yeah.
Put the cloth here, roll it, put the cloth on, put the bleeder cloth on, and put it in the bag.
Okay.
That's the thing? Okay, so vacuum this out, clean this out.
I'm ready for anything you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
For a little bit. You just want to make it sticky.
Oh, you don't put that on with a brush.
Not right now.
Oh, that's what I didn't know.
Just get it sticky right now. Okay, this has that texture from the bleeder cloth. It's got that little tooth that we need. That's right. Okay, leave that for a remix. We're gonna mix more. Take a little bit, put it right in the middle so it doesn't get hot. Right, spread it out. Just get it wet. Doesn't have to be soap, just wet. No, don't pour any more. We got plenty on
until you tell me.
No, you won't need any.
All right,
I don't need any more. In fact, Dave's gonna have to skim coat some of this off.
thinking Dave didn't have any to go up in the corners up there.
No, it's okay.
They'll be,
You got plenty.
oh, I know.
You need a smaller spatula, David.
Yep,
Get up in those corners.
yep, that's exactly
Okay,
right.
we got plenty of stuff.
I don't see them. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are.
They're over here. And I need a paper towel.
Okay, this will get up in the corners.
What?
Nothing left.
More than you think.
That's all you need. You don't need a lot.
More than you think.
You don't need a lot, because we're gonna put on the Nomex, we're gonna roll it. All right, you gonna take care of this? I'll start rolling the Nomex.
Yep.
Get this up in place. Here's an extra
Wait,
trowel.
you need some right up in there.
Take some down.
No, take some of this.
Yeah.
Just spread it
No,
out.
I need a way to get up in there.
It's the little trowel, okay. Let me roll the table.
You're gonna table it.
Where's the rest of the material? There we have, the Teflon is nice and flat, okay. We're gonna mix more, don't worry about it.
This I don't understand. Okay.
I knew you would. Just remember, the arrow goes toward the television.
We're off the table here, so there's nothing on this.
Doesn't matter, we're gonna move it.
Okay.
You can pick it up, slide it to me a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna mix a little more resin. Flip this on the other side and roll it. Woody, just roll it until I mix up a little more resin.
Just roll it up.
Yeah, pick up the resin off the table. You only need to get it on the edges. Okay. Just keep rolling it. Okay, you got a little more resin here we can work with. Just roll it, get it on the roller. Okay, roll away, I'll mix up some more.
Why doesn't seem like there's anything going on this at all?
No, if you look at it from here, there is.
It's just a little shine, I know.
You just need the slightest shine on there, that's all you need.
No kidding.
When the drag presses it down, it just needs that one molecule of resin. Just roll both sides of it. Roll, 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 and roll away. Okay. But you don't want any dry spots. How's that look, Dave? If you get some up under the wood, it's not going to hurt. That'll be a little bonus. It'll hold that in position. That looks fine. That looks real good. All right, pick that piece up, Woody.
What do you mean picking up? What are we doing? Oh.
I want to put more resin on the table. Just hold it 1 second. Hold it up in the air. Now you see you got the pattern on the table?
Oh, yeah.
So you know you got plenty of resin.
I can tell you there's resin in here, it's heavy.
Alright.
You can put that in place. Arrow goes to the outside. Flip it to me. Snap that in position. This is, now we get the ½ ounce cloth in here once I roll this. You get that snapped in, Dave?
I can get this snapped in.
Okay. There's that ½ ounce cloth, Woody.
That's the pink stuff?
No, go.
Woody, it's over here.
½ ounce glass.
It's up there.
Oh.
Your hands are dry.
I know what you're talking about.
Now try to lay it flat.
I got you.
Try to hold your end. So I'm going to drop it in like a flat bed sheet. Don't put a wrinkle in it. Drop it right into the resin. Okay. Now let's just roll it. You just need to get just enough on there that it'll stick.
Got it, David?
Drop it in. You got it in?
You got it.
Okay, put the first coat of e-glass on there. This is going to be fine. Let me just roll the rest extra out. Dave, get these 2 corners. Flip. Get those 2 and I'll go pick the other 2 up. All right. Now which side do you want to do? Your side first?
Just come right to me.
Okay, if you even touch it, it's gone. You know what I mean?
I even touch one.
Go over the wingtip. Over.
It's over.
Okay, make sure, drop it right in. Okay, now you can pat it in. Carefully, carefully. Don't let it stick to your fingers.
Sticks to your fingers, you're gonna pull it up.
Get the other piece of stuff.
Got it.
Okay, let's re-roll. We'll do the second piece. Bag is ready.
Now, you gotta put more on it?
No, you got plenty.
Alright.
You got plenty. This has V1 on it. Sucks it right up. Okay, lay that in there. Okay. That going in okay, Dave? That looks pretty good from here. The bag's going to suck it right. You don't have to worry about wrinkles. There's no problem with it. Just get it in there.
I thought you did.
Nope. Okay. Let's just wait till he's done. This is what separates the men from the boys. Okay.
You sound like a sheep.
That's what I said. Here, grab this. Okay.
Goat woman!
You leave Goat Woman out of this.
Where was Goat Woman?
Where the food go? Okay, just overlap. Go to you, more. Right there. Drop it. Okay.
Goat woman. Oh, God.
Okay, now we gotta get it stuck down there. Just get it.
But you got so much stuff in your fingers, you just keep picking it up.
No. Now you get the bleeder cloth.
The pink stuff?
Pink stuff.
Pink stuff. Okay. Now what I think you're going to need is a piece of tape. Because when we put this in the bag, this is going to flop out. You You know what I mean? We gotta somehow, now you can press it down. Now you see? See, that's the trick.
You don't have to worry about the...
They teach you all the tricks in school. Okay, now you can rub it down. Now you see it coming through? Any spot you don't see coming through, you know, you don't
Too
have
short.
a hoop on.
You're too short.
Just no matter in that corner. You got plenty on your side, Dave?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, he's a quarter of an inch
This is
short.
close
so-
enough. A quarter of an inch ain't gonna matter. We're gonna go your end in, so let's tape that end.
I don't like taping anything. Doesn't give it room to slide.
Okay, let's try to get it in without tape then. Where's your bag? Let's get rid of the resin.
Yeah, you gotta get the Teflon off the table.
Okay, let me get the tools
Get
out
that
of here.
off. Get that off. I'll get the bag. Get the bag.
Get the bag.
Now, if you take this piece of Teflon
Right.
and we just lay it out, it'll dry and this stuff will pop right off.
Fine. Just put it on the floor for now. Okay. You got the big end of the bag there, boy?
Got the bag.
Okay. Wait till Dave gets here so we can hold that side apart. We want the fittings on the bottom.
Fittings are on the bottom.
Dave, you gotta come up by me.
Don't step on the Teflon out there.
Oh, man. I got this. You pull a bag up. Keep going. Wait a minute now. Let me put it down. We're in good shape so far. It hasn't wrinkled at all. It's not pulling up the cloth. Keep going.
Pull anything up, Woody?
No.
No,
It's
fine.
perfect.
There you are. That's it.
Okay. Now lay it this way. Wait.
Straighten it out.
You work on putting the end on. Okay, lay this here.
Notice there are no camera cuts.
How the hell is the blue one?
Use the blue ones. Not the
I
other ones.
get it.
Okay, now, when he puts the suction, we want as much of the bag up in the front as
Bag
possible.
up front.
Bag into the crevice, and we're all set. Here it is in real time. You can laugh, you can watch TV, eat popcorn.
Popcorn.
What is this, the third one we've made? Okay, that looks like it's going to be a good one. All right. All right, snap that. Turn the pump on. Let's let it suck down a little bit. Okay, what we want to do
We got
is
to,
without pulling the material, get a lot of the bag in the middle here. We almost could do this. This would be good.
Got it.
Give it room. I just don't want it bridging.
Don't want it. Just
Let me
plug
give it
it
to
in.
you a little bit. Plug it in. No camera cuts. No actors. All right. There we go. Dave, this is what I wanted to do with the fuselage too, is have more of the bag in the middle so it can suck down. What happens if this gets tight, it pulls it and you don't get pressure.
What happens?
You get the bridge, yeah. What we should have is this kind of deal.
We should have is Teflon bags.
We should have thinner bags would let it. This is
Teflon bags.
You have thinner material? This is working. All right, that pump will pull it out in a minute or so. You see it in live. Okay. As soon as that sucks down, baby, we got ourselves half a wing. This is gonna be a good one. Okay. Yeah, I can feel it sprung down.
You can?
Yep.
I'm gonna say, I don't see anything happening here.
That'll take a while.
Well, so
You got a lot of air in this bag.
there's a lot of air in that
This is a big bag.
Yes, it's a big bag.
And this is really critical. This is where, if this doesn't have this extra wrinkle,
We should put cotton in this.
pop it. Pop it. You can just throw the cotton right in here.
Yeah, let's put cotton.
Pop it.
What do you mean?
I want to put cotton in.
You can tell we don't change our mind at midstream. Throw the cotton
I'm
in
looking
here.
at all the
Yeah,
stuff coming
okay.
up through. Let's get rid of it.
Okay. Pick it up. Don't even take it out of the bag. Just throw cotton in there.
I don't know how I'm gonna get it up. Oh, we got a
You got a yardstick. Sure.
Get a yardstick.
Sure.
What do you?
Hang it against the wall down there.
Right on the
To your
wall.
left, to your left, to your left. I gotta get some cotton.
Okay. Don't put your finger in there. It'll be all sticky.
Yeah, I know, a little bit.
All right, cotton man. Scissors.
Thought we could get away without it.
You got the good scissors?
They're hanging on the red. Red, reach your right arm straight out.
I didn't want to get resin on him. Okay. There you go. Yeah, you're right. There's gonna suck a lot of that resin.
I'm looking at that all coming up through.
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
enough
yeah.
so we can use this.
No, you're right. You're right. We can always change our mind. Here at We Never Make Mistakes headquarters,
We have the technology.
we have Noel Drindak in a barrel is what we have. Okay, let's put that in there. Let's see if you can, boy, if you can slide that in right now. If I can hold it up like this, and you can just take the, yeah, that's it. Bubble it over if you have to. Another magic trick from Midgley and Midgley. Shove it right in. This is the part they don't show you on our competitors' videos. Come on, push it in there. Ease. We're gonna have to pull it out. You know, it's not gonna go around the edges. Okay, you in there? Nah, that's not good. How are you gonna get it up at that end?
Take it out of the bag.
Lift it up. Well, my hands are dirty. Okay, hold the bag. Got the bag, got the bag.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus. That dragged on those fittings, oh, but didn't make holes in it.
No,
neither.
Now you may have to tape it.
No.
No?
If you're good, you won't.
Okay, well, we're not good. Okay, if you put one tack on each corner,
Right there,
you'll
Wade.
prove that I'm right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. Yeah, on the bottom, not on the top. And that'll, just tight enough, it'll break off. That'll hold it. The one on the end will hold it. Okay, now
That tape isn't gonna hold that suction.
okay, now hold. Yeah, let's see. All right. It's folded up already.
Quiet. Quiet.
Oh wait, I gotta put it down. Okay. Okay, all right, go up all the way. Make sure you don't have a wrinkle.
There you are.
Okay, back up in there. Put the end on it. And then keep that in the middle. Move over one notch.
Now look at that ship that's picked up.
That doesn't matter.
No, I know that, but I'm just like you said.
What's what I told you. You gotta have a clean environment to do
It's
this.
everywhere.
You got one schmutz and it goes right in the middle. And it always goes where you can see it. No, this is no good. Just cut that off. Don't get too cute. Put a little piece there. Just put a little piece. I don't want to have a big lump up there. Okay. Bingo. Get that on and let it pull down. You think Martha Stewart goes through this when she makes her TV tapes? Okay, now just let it slip down. You're all connected, okay. Give us plenty of room up here. I think this is gonna be great. Okay.
A lot of air has to come out of that thing.
Yes,
Just let it sit.
But let the fold be up here. Let the fold be up on top. About a minute after we shut the camera off, we realized the fitting that we had that was going into the bag had sucked up some resin. So the thing we learned here is to get the fittings away from the resin. We put a new fitting on this bag and just left the other one disconnected. But that was an important thing to learn too. Another thing, now you can roll this, you know. I cleaned the roller. It's over by the Teflon. You could roll this just to make sure. If you roll this, you'll get especially up in the corners here, you'll get a little bit better contact. It doesn't have to be flat and smooth or anything, just roll away. Can you see any of the resin coming up through there? Don't forget, you only got half-ounce cloth on there, so.
I wouldn't expect to see any resin come.
No, I don't think so. But I think that'll give you, if you're missing, if there's a low spot or something, You'll take care of it that way.
But what I am seeing is the grain in the Nomex.
Okay, if you see the grain, you know you're getting a good compression then. Now the other thing, when you pull a bleeder cloth off of this tomorrow, you got to be really careful because that half ounce cloth is delicate. You know, you could rip that right off. And that's fine. That's all it has to be is a bridge. Okay, just roll away. And this is going to stay in the bag overnight.
Yeah, it does.
I thought so.
Now after pulling out of the mold, we're just getting a rough weight, even though it's untrimmed and there's a lot that has to be trimmed off of here yet.
$175 grams.
175 divided by
30. 28. 175 divided by 28.
6. Little 5 and a half.
6 ounces.
5 and a half.
All right, so you're not really going to know until you trim.
It's under 6.
Okay, you're going to, and that's acceptable. You're going to have to trim this off.
Oh yeah, all that gets.
I mean, Woody's was 10.
And it's sand, yeah.
Woody's was 10, and you got to sand.
Yep.
Oh, it was.
So that's a half a panel out of the mold. Look, trailing away, you can't tell until you make the other panel.
No.
So the next step is to make another panel.
It's certainly strong enough.
Oh, it's
I
plenty
believe.
good.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can sand off here too, because flip it over.
Tons.
You could sand till you start hitting things.
Yep.
See up here even you have a lot of extra resin
Oh,
because
there's
we didn't
tons of
squeeze the
stuff.
trailing edge the way we should have. But that's a done deal. You got half of a carbon wing there.
The only thing I'm concerned about is right here, where we came up short against the wood.
Won't matter.
Where we cut it.
Because when you join this, you're going to have to flat sand it. You have to put sandpaper on a table and get this edge flat.
Sure. But see the gap between the Nomex and the wood right
Won't
there?
matter at all.
Oh, you mean, I see
Right in
sandpaper on the whole table.
Yeah, put that sticky back, like,
And use it as a...
right, and get 3 or 4 guys to just hold it all together. And then join it together just the way, I made you copies of the tape, so it'll be just the way I did the other one. Now all you gotta do is make another panel and you're all set. Or you can use that for a fan to fan Woody on the way home. All right, that's good. Leave Chicky alone. Now what Dave has decided to do with the last, what do we have, 4 shells now? 4 fuselages or 3? 3, okay.
The third one.
Okay, and one that we dumped because it didn't come out that good. So what he's going to try with this is to put pieces of Nomex inside, double a carbon up in the front, and Nomex and double carbon in the back, in an attempt to try to make it more rigid, and at the same time maybe eliminate all the formers in one stroke of the pen, which is not an unrealistic goal since that's the way the RC guys are doing it.
It weighs nothing.
Oh, you don't even have to wait. You're wasting your time.
Nothing. It weighs absolutely nothing.
It's a waste of time to wait. Get it put together. And we'll make the second panel.
I'm just waiting for you to mix some resin here, boy.
I'll listen to him.
I'm ready.
You ready? You got the doubler cut and everything? I would put more PVA in the mold too, just to make sure it doesn't,
Okay.
safety, you know? In case some bleeds through, because you don't know that carbon is not, you know, like a boat right now. There's still little pinholes in it, and you don't want to take a chance on ruining the outer skin either. So just put some more PVA on the mold, give it 10 minutes. Rudy can start setting up for the second wing panel.
Woody's doing it.
Rudy's turned out to be a good employee. I like his idea of union benefits. No pay. He works for very cheap amounts of food too. What did they give you last night, Woody? 1 hamburger?
Oh, no, 2 hot dogs.
What? 2 hot dogs.
Have a hot dog.
He works for 12 hours nonstop for 2 hot dogs. That sounds like a good deal with me. Yeah, I'd re-PVA that mold. I wouldn't take a chance that you're going to have a spot where it sticks. Just in case some of that resin drools through there.
Holy shit.
Hey, what's the matter? Hey, we don't curse on video.
Forget you were.
Crying out loud. Women and children watch these videos.
Oh my God, the first whack off it almost fits the trigger.
Okay, now you're going to put this back in a mold. What we're doing, we re-PVA'd the mold. Gonna put this piece back, put in the Nomex, double a carbon up to the high point of the wing, and from that point back Nomex. Then the third step will be to just put the half-ounce glass cloth in the back and put it back in the bag. Three-step process we're evolving this into. Set up all the materials there. That's the double carbon you're ready with. Okay, Woody, do we have the, leave it an inch from the front, because we want that to go to the high point of the wing.
Oh, it's definitely going to the high point of the wing.
And if it goes behind that, it's not a problem. At least to the high point of the wing.
We want to bring this,
And you want it overlap at least an inch. Let the Nomex overlap at least an inch.
So I want to bring this back in here. We'll leave this out an inch and we'll put a small piece in here.
Just put a little piece from the scrap box up there. We got enough scrap on this stuff.
So we're going to set this back here.
And the reason you want some material up by the nose ring, because you want to be able to do a perfect sanding the spinner right into the...
And we'll put some toe in here or something.
No, just use a piece of scrap material. It's fine.
All right. I would say we're good to go.
Okay, ready to mix resin.
We gonna take this over the edges, are we, or not?
Well, after we... That's a good...
You've got to take...
You could tape that in right now, because we're going to put the resin... No, you know what I want to do? Don't, Dave. I want to paint the whole inside by hand before we do that.
Right.
Every time we do that, we lose a piece.
A piece that big is not a problem to get back in the mold. It's when you do a whole piece front to back that it's really difficult to get it back in the mold.
All right, we're good.
Okay, we ready?
Yep, let's get the gloves on and
Get the gloves on, I'll mix the resin.
mix the goop.
Nice and thin. Let's clean the stick off. Chicky, get off of the camera.
I'm not gonna
Get a
hurt it.
thin coat on everything. I'll get the roller. You gotta give me some resin, we'll roll that over here. Oh, we gotta do the carbon piece first. Heck, you know what we'll try to do? I got an idea with this. You got Teflon there anyway.
Like two great rivers, we will flow side by side throughout our lives. Two loving hearts will merge as one as we chart the course.
Where's the stuff? Okay, the stuff is here.
But a time
I don't want the resin, the idea is...
Where's the
I see the
Teflon go?
Teflon.
from our journey,
I don't want the resin to sit in a cup. It's gonna just heat up and kick off on us. Spread it around. This will at least get it spread around. Then we give ourselves a little more working time this way. Because this part you want to get a really good bond on right now. You don't want to fool around with this. Let's see how you're doing with that, okay?
and we reach our destiny.
And the bag is going to pull out all the extra resin anyway, so even if you get a little extra, yeah. Well, where you got two pieces, you'll get a bond, because you should get a good bond because you have that material.
See, I'm not sure the bag's going to pull this stuff up through.
Well, get it good and wet. We'll find out. If not, at least you know it's all in the nose anyway. You're not putting, a bunch of weight in the back. Okay, here we go with fly paper. Fly paper. You all set?
Yep. Now what we want is that wants to be about an inch back.
Give me a dimension. An inch?
That's probably pretty damn
Okay,
good.
push it down with your bare hand. Push it down. Get the bottom in first. Make sure that, and then work your way up the sides. That's the easiest one. Looks like it's bonding good? Okay. Okay, that's the deal. Woody, why don't you hold this for him?
Yeah. He
Just get on that side so you can keep it from wiggling around. That was
all
it.
set.
Yeah, that's dropping right in.
We don't need anything else.
Okay, you don't even need to put any more resin in there.
No.
Just take the brush, cut with the, let me get the old scissors.
Yeah, you can do that.
Get the goofy scissors for that.
And now we can take one of these two pieces and lay
And
it.
lay it in there, right.
Lay it right
You
in.
got it, Woody?
I got it.
Okay, hold it.
Woody's got it. Alright, I'll cut that bad boy. Now, here's another thing. Give us a cut. Give us a cut.
I know what you want.
Yeah, you know exactly what I want.
You want a pillow fold. Well, I use the sole a lot. That's called a pillow fold. Okay, this piece can go in here. Right in there. Okay. And this is all going to get trimmed
What a
away.
brace for it too, to give you.
Yeah, give you a little extra.
Gives you a place to sand.
You need a little material, and when you start the plane, you need a place to hold it too, where it's nice and
I
solid.
wondered if I can get in there.
That probably should have stopped right at the beginning.
What are you going to do with those? Oh, just put a slit in it.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do.
But you don't even care. You know what? I'd leave it flat. You don't even need it to go up into the point. You don't need it up there. What would be the advantage of getting it up in the point? That'd be like a former back there.
It's just out of the way.
Okay, so put a slit in it if you think that's going to work. Let me cut this.
The bag will pull it in there.
Okay. Get a little resin up here. That's double layered up there. I want to roll an Omex. Now you got these marked, which is which?
You just lay them out there. It doesn't matter, as long as you got them.
No, it does matter.
It does.
Wait a minute. One at a time. I had them set.
They go like that. There's a left and a right.
Okay, good enough. Give me the brush. I'll use the roller.
Here.
No, leave it. I'll use the roller for this. The roller works better. Use the roller. No roller. We lost the roller. Bingo!
Found it.
Dumb is as dumb does. Okay,
Like
roll
walking
some of
around
this.
looking for the screwdriver and it's in your left hand.
We're looking for the bird, and he's on Woody's shoulder yesterday for half an hour. Yeah, Woody, tough to find that bird when he's on your shoulder, boy.
Ooh, that
Nobody-
hurts.
Nobody ever see. What stupid discovery. Okay, this is the resin side.
All right.
The other side has no resin.
That goes on this side, that's right.
Sure we got. I just would feel better if I knew we had. Yeah, we got a pretty good pattern of it in here. Okay, this is which side now? This is that side. Okay, so I got a resin up this side. This going.
That's right, that's correct.
Okay. You give me a couple days and I'll figure this all out.
Wait, we need some hot stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
We just
You
need
got that?
Yeah, I got this. Oh yeah, I got
There's
it.
hot stuff to the top of it, a couple of dots will do.
Yeah. Give me a dot right in here.
Oh yeah, you got nice loose focusing.
Jesus. Anytime.
Well,
You don't have any in
I
there.
couldn't. Yes, I did.
You go.
You probably got the end clogged up.
You probably got nothing in the can.
There's none left.
There's nothing in there. It's empty.
Got an empty can. Use the thick hot stuff when you run out of that. All right, this
Oh,
piece is
wait a
ready to
minute.
put
Did we
in.
forget to paint back here?
Oh yeah, pull it out.
I gotta paint
Pull
back
it out.
here.
Paint away, baby. These two are ready to go. So you're gonna need more resin. I think you're a little short. Let me mix you some more resin. You got enough in there? Let me mix another ounce.
I'm getting sick and tired of Back Road Joe. Too bad. I've been listening to that guy for 3 days.
Back road Ridgely.
That's why I'm gonna say.
Back road Dave.
Back Road Joe.
All right, here's the rest of the resin.
Right. I'm just dabbing it on.
That's all.
That's all I'm doing.
You should do it with your bare hand. Your bare hand will be better than a glove.
Yeah.
Put it in with the thing.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna.
There you go. Because obviously, if you don't get a bond, you're dead.
Yep.
That piece, you'll never be able to get back in there. You can throw that piece away then. And then you got 2 days of work down the drain. Okay. You should be
That
wet
piece can
now.
have plenty of goop on it because it's going to get cut out.
What do you think? I think your hand works better than the brush.
I was just going to get it on. Let me put it on with the brush.
Go ahead. You don't need any more up by this doubler here.
No.
This is fine. Okay, the rest you do by hand. Just put some on there. Don't forget you got to overlap, so put a little bit up here. Otherwise you're going to have a stress riser. Okay, that's good.
A lot of this shit could come out.
It's going to come out with the bleeder cloth.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
Not up through the Nomex.
No, not up in the front. Well, they're not.
Yeah, but not out back.
Okay, so white.
So what we want to do is
Now you
get
want to
in
wipe.
here and wipe this stuff out.
Even better, I put the
Give me a
trowel on
paper
here.
towel.
There's the trowel.
Give me a paper towel. Right below you would.
You're going to leave lint if you use a paper towel. Paper towel's not a good choice. You want to squeegee that with this. Squeegee. Let's see if you can do it this way. You got a bunch in the back there in the corner.
But
That
from the last one.
that
And
part's
comes
coming out. And once it comes out, you can get in there with a Dremel
I think
tool.
we're better taking it out with a paper towel.
Whatever you think. Make sure you're not leaving lint though. Lint is,
Well, what about a cloth? How about some of that cotton?
that's probably the worst choice.
That's worse.
It's a hell of a time to be inventing this stuff. Okay. I think you got the right amount in there. It's wet. You have no dry
It's a little
spots.
too wet. We'll see.
Remember, you only got one layer of stuff here to deal with. I put the Nomex in. Let me see. Make sure you're putting the wet side up where it belongs. Which is the wet side?
That's your side.
Yeah, that's your side. Okay. Get it up. Go over the carbon. Now you got to get it in position. With
In
either
position.
tape or whatever.
How about just a piece of tape right down the side? We don't have hot stuff. It's going to have to be.
Well, this,
All we need is that.
One in the front.
One in the middle.
One in the middle. Okay.
Let's keep one in the middle.
Okay. Do the other side. Make sure you got that, well, you have no choice because the resin side is only on one side.
that's right.
Okay, drop that down.
Is it in the right spot?
Yeah, all the way back. Okay. Okay. Tape's not sticking to this piece.
No, it's not. Glue is better. There's hot stuff somewhere. Woody got some. This isn't.
What do you want? Go
Give
to
me
it.
the CA. You do kicker. You just need a dot here.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Spray.
Come on, don't fool around, spray. Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, right there. Up here.
Anywhere up there.
Yeah, we're still gonna be able to, and you're cutting this bottom.
All that gets cut off.
Okay, spray it. Same thing on the other side now. Don't even put the tape on.
Dead.
Okay, go.
I've heard enough of cockeyed Joe to laugh.
This is the torture you get when you have to make extra parts. You have to listen to Cockeyed Joe. Okay, let's get this, get that bleeder cloth in there next. Okay. Okay, bleeder cloth time.
Woody, it's up here.
Oh, what a bunch of team players, I'm telling you. The gang that couldn't mold straight.
This one.
Which one do you have for this?
I guess that one. That one's the right one, I think. All right.
All right, backwards, Joe, give me that. Put a fold in it, put a 90-degree fold. Okay, pull away in. You know you can't get any further back than this, so don't even try. Okay, I'm sorry. Good, okay.
Woody, scissors. Right up front. Those.
Got that. All right, get the bag?
I'll get the bag once you guys are ready to release me from the gloves.
Okay.
We still need to do the,
You usually leave the cotton until the last minute.
yeah.
Okay, you got a good bond. This is working. You got enough material down in there. Okay.
Let's just make sure we got, that looks okay.
All right.
Thin cotton. I think it's the bottom one. It's the bottom one. It's the other piece.
Give me the back end, put a nice fold in it. We'll get you a job.
He's on board.
We'll get you a job in a slave labor factory soon.
Woody's on board.
You can use me as a reference. Okay, go ahead, put your end in. Oh, I don't want to move this because I got the two pieces. Okay, I can feel they haven't moved.
You can just look.
Which bag? We'll give it the floor. You know, wait a minute, stop. Stop what we're doing. We don't need cotton back here. Get rid of it. There's no epoxy on this side.
Doesn't it?
You don't need cotton. This is where you have the problem where it all balls up. So why bother? Just go from the carbon forward. Get a cut on there. From here forward, where my hand, that's it, got it.
Let me
Drop it in. That's good. Now you don't have that big wrinkle in the back that we always have to deal with. Okay. Okay, bag time. We're getting short on time now,
Alright, you guys do that.
Bag time.
Gloves are off.
Get the bag, 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 get the bag.
Come on, baby, you're in real time. Throw the resin away. Get rid of the resin off the table, Woody. You want the fittings on the side. Okay, 1 second. Okay, you got it. Get the bag down inside now. Okay, there you go. Alright, don't get the hell with the end, leave it there.
I like it.
No, get the end sealed first, and then we'll deal with that. Get the end sealed while you have your hands clean. Get rid of these scissors. Don't get the epoxy on those scissors.
Bueno. Okay. In real time. No camera cuts. No stunt double. No animals were hurt in the making of this video. All right. Now you've seen a wing, you've seen a fuselage. This is what we go through. And if you think we're having fun, you're right. Don't touch that. It's all soaking wet. You got gloves? No gloves? Get out of here. Just don't. Everything here is wet. Everything here is for me. Okay. You do the clean stuff. Get the tube up here, and let's get this pressed in. Why isn't this thing running? It'll be running.
It's nice being in management. You get to holler and give orders and stuff.
All right, pop it in there. Hit it. Bingo, bingo.
Go ahead.
Now the trick we found is to get as much of the bag inside the mold without distorting things. And this worked pretty well yesterday, so let's see back here. Keep your hand down in there if you can. As soon as this sucks down, then we'll work on
these so they don't fold over.
Yeah, and you don't want the fittings to go inside the part. We learned that. They suck up all the resin and you have to throw the fittings away. Okay. There you go. You're already down in the bottom here. That's good. You've got to... Now, I want to feel for the Nomex that it hasn't shipped. No, it's good. The CA actually worked pretty good.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's at the top. But even if it wasn't, you're going to put a piece of like 1/4 inch square here to laminate the... You need a corner, you know what I mean? Okay, there it goes. It's sucking in, baby. Another amazing adventure with Dave and Woody's molding And that was a layup in real time. What? Oh no!
Oh, look at this.
Oh no! What?
It gives you the
It gives you the imprint of the Nomex on the bag.
Sure.
You know exactly where the Nomex is.
Pretty cool. Well, I wanted to get at least one of our layups on real time so you would have some idea of the chaos that goes on during the time this is being mixed and floppy-ized and whatever.
There.
You got a wing, you got a fuse, there you go. And so a great 6-day building marathon ends. Originally it set the world on fire, it's still burning.
The pump's still running.
How hot is that pump?
It's not.
It doesn't get hot?
Not. That
Wow.
thing's been running.
Yeah, I probably got a $2,000 electric bill. Me and the bird have a headache that never is going to go away. All the bags are up there. We put them up by the heating vent while we went and had something to eat. We even made an extra cowling. He's even got a cowling up there. So he's got 4 fuselages, 2 wings. I don't know how many, 1 cowling. Plenty of garbage. And you just can't have more fun than hanging out with Chicky.
Right. Hanging out with the bird.
I'm glad they're leaving. That pump was making me crazy. Listening to that pump all night.
Chicky, I'll bet you're glad they're leaving, baby.
What are you doing all
Put that stuff in a car. Get out of here. What we've been fighting all week. Snow, ice. Finally got some sun. Slide around, boy. Woody mobile. Back for 5 hours from now, it'll be like they never were here. Look at this Massachusetts snow.
Adios, amoeba.
Very soon to have the world's first all-carbon fiber plane. We're not sure we're going to see that, but we may beat them to the punch yet. Back to wonderful Massachusetts, where it never snows more than 3 feet at a time. What a winter this has been. Unbelievable.
See ya.
Now we had a great visit with Dave and with Elliot. What I try to include as often as I can on the videos is some of the questions that get asked over and over and over again. And this is one, and I'll go through, first of all, anything I can add to the database, and hope that it helps you squeeze some final performance or extra performance out of the planes you have and the ones you'll build in the future. These are just commonly asked questions, things that general knowledge I think everybody can use. Now, when it comes to handles, this time of year, what I like to do, we're coming up on a flying season maybe a month from now, there's a couple of things I like to review in my own mind. What I like to do is every year, in the beginning of the flying season, take all my handles and replace the cables. Now, it may sound like wow, that's overkill, but think about it. What happens with any handle cable? It's like a tire on a car. You don't wait till it goes flat in the middle of the night and it's raining. You look, you try to figure out the lifespan, and you try to replace it before it breaks. Now, if you replace a cable, I have about 15 or 20 handles. Every year I replace the cables. Very, very cheap insurance. I've never lost a plane. People that try to squeeze 5 and 10 seasons out of it really are pushing the envelope. That's really dangerous. Now here's what really happens to a cable. Any handle cable, it wouldn't matter which handle you're using. If you were to adjust the cable every time you fly, now a lot of people do this. They have 6 planes, so they have 1 handle, and then they change that handle to that handle. That is the most ridiculous thing in terms of safety. To get a final set on a handle, once I get it set, and I'm real happy with it, and I've shown that little tip I use with an ink marker marking the ends, so I know incrementally where it is. That handle, once it's set, is set for that plane. I'll tighten down the bolt, put grip tape on the handle, and now I'm done. Once that's done, but every year I want to replace the cable. So what happens is now springtime will come, I'll lay this out on the table and just mark where the handle is, and I'll get this rough set, but I'll always need to fine tune it when I get to the field for the first time of the season. But I would not want to start off the season having a cable that's been in the handle for 3 years and never been moved. The worst that can happen is if you decide you don't want to replace the cable for economic reasons, and we always have people that do that. Well, there's a way to beat it. Cut one end off and just move it in so that the wear point, which is right here, it's always going to be the wear point right where it ends. You'll have a new wear point. So that's really step one, springtime every year. Replace all the handle cables, but no matter what. That is such a critical thing. Now, step two, remember years ago, we all used to fly 35 size planes, old-time stunt planes. A handle was not a critical thing. The reason is to turn a plane that weighs 30, 35 ounces with a relatively lightweight engine, leverage, ratios, none of those things are critical. What happens as a plane gets larger, as a plane gets heavier, and as it flies through rougher and rougher wind, having the handle tuned is a critical thing. Now, the most obvious thing is you need to tune a handle the same way you buy shoes. Handles and shoes are the same thing. It has to fit you. You can't hand your handle to Paul Walker and he flies a flight and he says, yeah, that's fine. Because it's got to suit your reflexes, your flying ability, and your neutral. Now, I've flown enough other people's planes. This is neutral to Billy Suarez. This is neutral to Mike Kajeski. Some people, neutral, they fly exactly the way I do. To Rich Jacobone, this is neutral. So everybody's got to deal with something the same way we pick out shoes. It's not that you have to have it a certain way or a way that exactly the way this person or that person has it. What you have to do is you have to tune it for yourself. Now, in the simplest of terms, in the olden days, I would say, other than most people used easy just type of handles. You had one setting, and you had to live with it. And usually what people would do is put nose weight in if the plane were too touchy, and maybe some solder on the tail wheel or something, but you'd always be fudging it. The beauty of modern technology is you can fine-tune it. Now, there's a couple of reasons I prefer handles that don't have a bar. What happens, any handle that has a bar, and some people are comfortable with them, that's for sure, you have to decide what's comfortable and right for you. When I tune a handle with a bar, my knuckles hit the bar because I prefer having the arms short. Now, the length of the arms, it's this length here that determines how much power steering you have. On a small plane, on an old-time stunt plane, this is irrelevant. You could have a handle with, in fact, people made handles with big, long arms. They gave you a nice, soft neutral. Yeah, that's an advantage. But when you went to turn them in the wind, wow, that leverage. This is your leverage arm. The shorter you make this, the shorter you can make it, the more power steering effect, the more leverage you're going to have over the airplane. Now, these are just the simple ABCs. The wider the line spacing, if I use the most extreme wide part of the handle spacing, what's going to happen is the plane's going to be relatively touchy. If I use the most extreme inner section, what's going to happen is the plane might be a little sluggish. So I have to kind of try a couple of different settings until I find what's right for me. The key word is here, what suits the individual that's going to be flying this plane. Now, it may seem like oversimplification, but if you have a plane that turned real tight one way and not the other way, you could use the innermost section or any variation of that, so you could wind up with an asymmetrical handle. You could also wind up with, and I did this on the Red Baron, a handle that had one short arm and one arm a little bit longer. The asymmetry can help tune the plane. If, for instance, you have a plane, and some planes, you never know until you build a plane, that might be asymmetrical. There's other ways to get them to turn symmetrical, but this is the easiest way. This is the way you don't have to cut the plane in half to do it. So knowing all of these things, what what's very simple. There are a few rules, a few things that are very simple, and if you understand them, tuning can be a relatively quick and straightforward process. Just to make an oversimplification, if you're dealing with a smaller ship, an old-time stun ship, a nobler size ship, arm length is really not going to be that critical. In fact, there may even be some advantage in having long arms. So this is the first thing I would say to keep in mind. A medium-sized ship, a 45 ship, 700-inch ship, a stiletto, you probably want some medium-length arms on there. That might be a good choice. But for sure, if you have, hey, on a B-25, you better have the arms as short as possible. But anyway, if you understand this relationship to arm length, that allows you to fine-tune. Now there's no reason you can't take any handle. If you have a bar-type handle, again, you can keep pulling the bar in, but eventually it hits your knuckles. Limits you. You don't have all the choices then. On a smaller ship, having the bar further away may be some advantage. Now, Noel Drindak and I have gone back and forth with his custom handles, and he finally arrived at a medium point where he's happy with it. He resisted in the very beginning because he was very comfortable from flying smaller ships. When he transitioned into larger ships, he was still using this handle, and he could never really get them to turn the way he wanted to, especially when the wind is blowing. Now, the other thing I would say is this might be a good thing to think about. This might be a good intermediate setup, because you would get a soft neutral, assuming these planes were all 35 size planes now, forget the larger. And somewhere down the road, shortening the arms might be something when you reach the advanced skill level you'd like to try, and having ultimately short arms, which are the length, the handles that I make and sell. This might be an expert setup, maybe. And it doesn't mean that every expert uses that handle, although a lot of them do. It doesn't mean every intermediate flyer is going to prefer this. But this is the general feeling. Just like if you go into a store to buy shoes, you don't go and start, if you're a size 10 like I am, you don't start trying on 14s and then complain that they're sloppy. So knowing this ahead of time, this really can help. Now, these are just common ways to correct, and this is the correction for a ship that turns inside faster than outside, and almost every ship in the early stages of trim is a little bit asymmetrical. Well, what you want to do is soften the inside turn by bringing the cable down in, or making it turn tighter so that you have asymmetrical. It means it's uneven. The cables are biased down. The opposite happens. If a plane turned too tight outside, we'd want to soften the outside turn, keep the inside turn. Or we'd like to have the bird just come on camera and destroy our whole presentation. Who hired you? Who hired you? You're going to go live with Midgley, where there's even more snow than here pretty soon. Quiet. Anyway, if you know how this works, you have a much better chance of getting the plane trimmed very quickly and very efficiently and very easily. In my case, I have a few do's and don'ts that have helped me maximize the enjoyment I get out of the event. On the ships that I fly on a regular basis, each one has at least one or more. If I have a set of solids, I'll have a handle set for solids, a handle set for braids. But once I get it set, it never comes off the line reel. Now here's what people do that I see. First off, biggest mistake you can make in the world of model planes is using small line reels. The end of the lines kink where they come out, you wind up losing a plane. Taking the lines off every time you fly, you run the risk that it goes on backwards. You run the risk of a million other things. You're wearing the clips out, or that it's somehow going to be less bulletproof than if you just leave the handle. Now, in my case, the line reels are large. They're 5-inch reels. The handle stays right in place, right on the reel. It never comes off. Where the clips are, I have that fishing tubing. It stays clipped on, and that is one set. It has the strap. That's set. That's now set. Let's just say for Miss Ashley, that's set. I marked the reel. I marked the handle. Every year I replace the cable the first thing in the year so that I don't wind up with a surprise in the middle of the season or somebody stepping on it. This has worked well for me. These are things that I've done that have just made my flying more enjoyable and more reliable. I have is over the line clips. Once everything is adjusted, I have this fishing tubing. I'm sure we've seen 100 times on the video. Buy it in any fishing tubing store. And it covers the line clip because I've seen 1,000 people. It almost happens at least once a week when you have intermediate or advanced level flyers. What they do, they run out to the handle and the motor's running and they're all excited and they're flying a new plane and the clip is done this. And as soon as they take off, it's usually the down clip that they'll just go click and boom and the plane will go in. So having that rubber tubing, and again, these are things if people don't have it, I could certainly supply it, but you can buy this in any place that sells fishing store. I think it's the law, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't use it anyway. I always use the heavy-duty clips that look like that, not the clips that have a slider in the middle, because I've seen these, basically they're soft steel, these are hard steel. These can come off on bigger planes. They have the tendency, if you don't have them clicked in place, that this can go to one side. Bob Whiteley was the last one I saw lose a plane, and one of the gnats, the clip opened up. These clips, I think, are more heavy duty, more bulletproof. Anything in the control system, the lines, it's just not a good area to be saving time, energy, a few dollars here or there, and have your whole winter's work go down a drain because of one little mistake. And this is the big one. This is the one when you tell people this, they absolutely go crazy. I really prefer, when springtime comes, usually what happens, we get out to the field the first day, the second day, and you really know it's not spring yet. It's cold, the wind is blowing or something. So that's a great time to make up a new set of lines. Now, it serves two purposes when you make new lines every year. Every year, the old set from last year can become the spares. So you'll have, let's say you have a 68-foot set of lines, you'll have a complete spare set of lines that you know is right for that airplane. Very, very cheap insurance. Then I would say, if you're using solids halfway through the season, I think solids really, what I like to do is fly right up till about 2 weeks before the Nationals and then make a new set. And then at the end of the year, find some lucky person in our club and give them the lines. A half a year for solids, a year for braideds. And I think more than that. And it's okay if you have your first ringmaster and it's monocoated. You don't really care if you lose the plane. But in the case of, let's say, the B-25, I don't want any chance at all that I'm going to lose the plane. This is cheap insurance. Now, all the handles I make are made to a standard size. It's like a shoe store again. You hope you can fit most people most of the time. Obviously, you can't. There's always somebody who has a larger hand or a hand that they like to wear rings or jewelry or something, and they need to make the hand a little bigger. And the easiest way to do that is just with a Dremel tool or with a bird. You just, get out of here! You can take a little bit of material out of the handle with a Dremel tool. You can even do this, which I've done from time to time, to make kind of a pistol-y grip deal, if that kind of fits your hand feel. Now that's one step. The other situation is where you have a hand that's too small. In that case, what I would do is I would take a piece of soft balsa wood and just tack glue it on with some CA right at the field, in fact. Don't even bring it home. Because you want that handle to be a tight fit, an absolutely tight fit. Now the other thing, you can customize the fit of the handle. What I like to do is fly until I have the plane trimmed, have my cables adjusted, get the asymmetry taken care of, and now I'm going to fly that plane for a whole day so I don't have to touch the handle again. I'm going to tighten this bolt down, and then I'm going to use grip tape, because having the grip tape on the handle is a significant gain in the fact that if you know the mechanics of a human hand, what happens is if something's real slippery, and you can prove this to yourself, just go take anything, a pen, a screwdriver, coat it with oil, and try to hold it from sliding out of your hands. Well, you got to grab it, you got to squeeze, and your arm right in here is going to get tired. If you take the same thing and put some sticky back sandpaper on it, you can just touch it and it'll stay there forever. Well, what you want to do with the part of the handle that you're holding, you want to have it as rough and gritty as possible. And what happens, of course, because we're at the field, there's castor oil on your hands and grease, and from wiping a plane off, there's probably wax and whatever. Well, you want your hand to stick. I mean, you want it to be almost like flypaper. Then you'll find you can relax. The muscles here don't get tired at the end of a session, and you can just relax, and you'll have a more infinite control. When you have to squeeze, now, it's more difficult. To prove this to yourself, just do one thing. Go get a cinder block where you have to squeeze to hold it. And then go get something much lighter, a piece of styrofoam, and hold both of them here, and you'll see. At the end of 7 or 8 minutes, this hand is shaking, and you're squeezing, and your arm hurts. And this one, you're in complete comfort. So the grip tape, a significant gain over not having grip tape. And the nice thing about the grip tape, if you have a little, let's say, for instance, the plane turns a little bit faster up than down. Well, you can adjust it by adding a couple layers of grip tape. If a plane turned really too tight up, you could make it turn down just a little faster. In fact, you could adjust the grip tape so that you would get an infinite fine-tuning on the handle that way. Anyway, but ultimately, it's shoes. Ultimately, you have to find what works for you, and I hope these little tips and rules and things that I've learned, I've tried to put these like 50 years of experience down into the videos that I make for people, and that I hope they'll share and put the information out to every beginner, every intermediate flyer, so we can all get to the field and get the Brodats and everything and have a great time. Now, in today's mail, this came from Kevin King in Canada. If you notice what this is, he says he can get an unlimited supply of this. It looks like it's pre-preg. Now, if anybody out there knows what this is, it comes from Boeing, so it must be some aircraft. I can't even peel this up with my fingernail. But it appears to have some resin already on the material. Now, we'd certainly like to see what this is. Kevin is going to try to get us a bigger piece, but I don't know even now how you would even go about post-curing this or what we could use it for. I'll ask Dave Downey. This is interesting stuff to have, and I hope in the very near future we're going to be able to figure out if we can use it, and if Kevin can supply us with some more of it to make some modeling parts. Maybe a landing gear, maybe some bulkheads, I'm not sure. Interesting looking stuff, except I've never even seen stuff like this. I really have to show this to Dave Downey to get his opinion. But anyway, thanks a lot, Kevin. We'll give this a check out. Well, I like to think that through these videos and through our relationships and interaction, we share more than the world of model planes. Now, Danny Banjak just sent me up a video that I've already seen once, but I played it again in the shop today to see if it was as good the second time around as it was the first time, and it is. It's a very short video, and it includes some things. Now, years ago, if you look around my shop here in various angles and things, you'll notice I have these. I used to be on the cover of a couple of motorcycle magazines, and during this time period in my life, I really used to enjoy motorsports. Now, I'm too old now. I'm really just afraid to fall off of these things anymore. But I'd like to live out my life in comfort and luxury. The daredevil days are over, and of course model aviation fulfills that need for me just fine. But there's a very short video. I want to put it right on this video. I'm running it off of Dan's master copy. It's called Rendezvous. And what it is somebody driving through the streets of Paris. They apparently glued a video camera on the hood of a car. If you've never seen this video, this is the kind of video that if you've ever had any interest in real motorsports or racing or anything, it's just going to blow you away. This guy apparently 6 o'clock in the morning glued a video camera to the hood of his car or some kind of Ferrari or Lamborghini or something and just drove through the streets of Paris at whatever the top speed is, probably close to 200 miles an hour. And it's real footage. It's not one of these Steven Spielberg edited things where, it really didn't happen. You know this is a low-budget, windy kind of video, and you know this really happened in real life. This is not like our molding things. This is not some edited-down fake thing. Share this with us, and I think anybody that's got a love of motorsports, you'll really get a kick out of this. The name of it is Rendezvous, and it's real-time, and it really happened exactly as you see it on the video. Listen to the sounds of the engine, the gearbox. Turn the sound way up. It's pretty impressive stuff. Special thanks to Dan Banjak. I played that all day in the shop. That is really fun. If you've ever driven a car or a motorcycle fast, and just the sound, what you have to do is turn the sound way up. I mean, there's a sound, it just gets your blood boiling. A lot of things get my blood boiling. B-25s, radial engines, Merlins, Griffins, Chickadooly. There's a lot of things get my blood boiling, but that was one of them. And Dan, don't try that at home. We're going to be seeing Dan and Bob Zambelli real soon with his beach. In today's mail, we got some really neat photos here from David Ray's. I'm reading all the details from his notes because, of course, we'll pass these on to Stunt News. This is a model. He was watching the Brodak I-beam videos when he, I guess, got the inspiration to build an I-beam profile called the Cobret. That's kind of a neat name. I know Les Demet will like this. That looks like it's just Les's style, too. Anyway, and some more pictures from his Air Force. We'll, of course, pass these on to Stunt News. We see Dave down at Brodak's every year, and he says he loves I-beamers. You know, Dave, I do too. But there's a problem. I love all of these planes. I'd like to have one of everything. I'd like to have my own museum, and by the way, the Brodak Museum looks like it's going to be history, and it looks like it's really going to happen. Strega kits are due out soon, 4 to 6 weeks, and we also, hopefully, we will be donating the big sweeper, the original sweeper that's in George's cellar, to John's Museum. I hope that brings a lot of happiness to a lot of people. In fact, we've been deciding we're going to donate Peeps to the museum too. Hey, you want to go live by John Brodak? Yeah, I'll live by John Brodak. It's colder there than it is here. Forget it. Anyway, thanks to Dave for the pictures, and we will be passing these on to Stunt News. Looks like a nice Air Force. Keep adding to it. You never have too many airplanes.
That design. But
Now, for anybody who doesn't know Frank Finelli, wave to the crowd. Head of Model Aviation. Flying Models. Sorry, Frank. Soon to becoming his own railroad magazine.
Wendy was telling me about that.
Yeah, this is really cool. Let me get that. We were doing his photographs for the Zetron article
I brought
before.
the tool so I can take it apart and show you some of the features of it.
Well, you know what? I want to be there for the first flight. I don't care.
I'll come up to Middlesex and we'll fly it.
You pick the spot. I don't care. I'll drive. Well, I don't have a car?
And I have your control system in here. I got the big...
Okay. I see you got 1/8-inch horns. Something substantial.
It's got to be. It's got to be...
Nice exhaust. Hey, that looks cool.
I just bought a new lathe.
Look at the exhaust on that.
I bought a new lathe that cuts metric threads. So
right.
if you need these...
You can just screw them right in.
Exactly. You need these
right.
for your Satos. Just give me the dimensions and I can make real simple. In fact, I left the lathe set up for a 1mm thread. So
I think you should make me at least one, just for no reason at all.
75, 90, I gotta know which engine.
I'll give you the 91. I think the 91's going to wind up in here. Is it tail heavy yet?
No.
I don't know where you would plot. Where do you plot? The mean average on a biplane like
I'm going to
this?
go the average between the thick points of the two wing. It's nose heavy.
But you know who'd know? Downey would know for sure.
Well,
I mean, it wouldn't be a guess then. It would be a no. And the cowl where this air escapes is beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Is that prototypical? The way
the early ones actually had cowl flaps.
Yeah.
But that was put. I said, should I?
Well, you could ink them on. You could ink them on.
Yeah, but I need the functional ones actually come out.
Oh yeah, on little hinges.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
But that's pushing it. I still have to engineer the throttle system, and I want to show you exactly how everything works, including the landing gear.
Yeah. You want a pad to lay this in? How do you?
What we'll do is we'll flip it over. Let me go get my tools out of the car because I have some special tools to take it apart. I want you to see the modular engine system too.
That's a pretty nice plane, huh, Frank? I think when he's out there, we has clamp mounts in here. We're going to put the 91 in without telling him. You make a man out of him. use a lot of Satos in RC, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, in the big RC events.
They're not the most powerful of the four strokes, but they're fairly reliable and economical.
They're not like YS's, but who cares?
Yeah.
But they work well in control line, and control line stunt. They work. That's what Paul Walker used. That exact engine that's in there. I prefer the 91. I'm more of the let's be a man kind of guy. Let's not pussyfoot around. Yeah, that looks nice. It even sounds like the real thing, doesn't it? Pretty cool. Now this is similar to what you were going to do for the B-25.
This was identical, only the B-25 was going to retract
Okay.
forward and aft.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Same principle.
We saw this at our dinner.
Yeah, let's,
Pretty neat stuff.
you can see the tail wheel functioning. And I can, since it's proportional, I can control the speed.
You know, with the camera you can see the emitters.
Yeah.
You're kidding? Oh,
I can see the emitters emitting the signal.
I'll be darned.
On a camera, I can see it,
Oh, it
yeah.
picks up the lower frequency,
Yeah.
higher frequency.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
The battery box is in here, so it
Functions tip weight.
There you go. This is my charging jack for now. This is right out of Z-Tron. I'm going to recess a little bit more. But what I wanted to do was be able to show...
Sergio gave me a quick charger too, that if you want to do it right at the field, you can do it right off your car bat with a cigarette lighter.
No kidding. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
so you don't need a spare battery unless you're going to flight after flight after flight after flight.
What I want to do...
What do you need, a knife?
I just need a... I want to show you the way that just the right size here should be. I may have grabbed one.
You need 440?
Yeah, I need a 440 size and a small standard screwdriver.
This may have some epoxy. It's
That's
all
right.
epoxy. Every tool in the shop has epoxy on it.
In fact, I'm going to extend the gears so it'll make it look good.
I think that's cool. Is that nice, Frank, or what? And I think what you should do is fly around inverted and just keep making the gear go up and down until the battery goes dead.
That's clever.
That's the torque rod that goes out to the to take the thing apart. First thing you have to do is find
You notice I work in a big shop.
a low ceiling.
Hey, we'll make a man out of you yet.
I'll tell you.
I think you're going to need a 91 in here. I'd start loosening those clamps up right now.
But you know the thing is light though. Yeah, if you hold it up, perfect.
Is that a scale nose length?
Virtually everything is scale in this. This thing is so close to scale, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
Well, why can't I?
That's 440, so if that isn't fitting, you got glue in a bolt head or something.
No, I don't, because I just put them on today.
You want a ball wrench?
You have a ball driver, that'd be better.
You got it out?
Okay, that's one. And the other one here. Yeah, I got that.
That's got a nice side profile, you know, Bob?
Oh, I think the Stagger wing is just one of the prettiest.
Oh, man. What color are you going to make this?
It's going to be yellow.
You going to trim it like a perfectly
See how
scaled?
you can set her down.
Look, even Chicky likes it. Look at he's going crazy in his cage over there. Hey! Zambelli doesn't like you.
And now I need a little screwdriver.
Zambelli doesn't like you.
Sure I do. I love her more than life itself. There we go. What you hear right now is a custom-built screw turning that goes all the way up through the control system and into the top wing through a carbon fiber tube.
Now, none of the parts you made for this are commercial parts.
No,
Everything's handmade?
every single thing on it is handmade.
Oh, look at this
Feel the weight
inside.
of the wing.
Whoa.
And this
This is what Hunt used to do to me. He'd come in.
Yeah, right.
And he said, feel this. And you'd grab me and we'd go.
Now you can see inside, you can see the landing gear system itself, and that's a totally re-engineered servo that I had to do. I'm not going to take the bottom wing off because the link
No.
wheel goes to it.
I could see it right from here how this works. This is cool.
Now here, what I was showing you,
Now that screw basically holds the top wing on.
Holds the top wing to the bottom wing to the fuselage.
So you don't see any of the bolts or nuts or anything from the top.
Nothing is visible.
Now how did Joe Adamusco do his biplane? With the bolts coming from the
I
bottom?
haven't seen it yet since, okay.
Oh, I thought you were at his house last week.
I was, but, no, not last week, earlier.
Well, maybe his doesn't come apart.
Now, this is the main screw that goes up through the bottom wing. It goes through this tube here and marries the bottom wing, the control system, the fuselage, and the top wing all together. This is a piece of carbon fiber rod, and I machined up a head for it, and that's just a standard number 6 thread. Nothing magic there. And then when I assemble the aircraft, okay, this will go. It's a little bit tricky.
Oops, let me get out of your way, Bob.
Tell me what you want me to do.
Exactly what you're doing. And once this is in, now you can set it down. Because it's locked the bottom wing up through here.
Okay.
And as you can see,
That's pretty well engineered.
I try to do my homework.
I don't care what the pampets say about you. You're an okay guy.
You see this piece of tubing here, the other one is a perfect concentric fit, and it hooks to the bell crank now. This is Wendy's bell crank, the one I told you about, and it just goes, it's mounted between this piece of 1/16 plywood and another piece down here, all hooked to this carbon fiber tube, which has another carbon fiber tube in it. And of course, whenever you have to take it apart, the only tricky thing is, see that link down in there? That connects to the tail wheel, so you got to reach down there with a pair of tweezers and break the link apart.
I love how you have that bell crank in the middle. That's absolutely jewelry. That is really nice.
I want to show you the best part.
The best part is when you fly it.
Yeah.
All this engineering is for the birds if it doesn't fly. It'll fly. You don't even have to worry about it.
Okay, what I'm going to do is to take off, I have to take off the needle valve extension.
Now you have clamp mounts in here, right?
No, I didn't have the clamp mount.
Universal or something. You can put a bigger engine in it.
I can put any size engine I want.
You can go over to the drawer and get that 91 out right now.
Anything that'll fit in the...
You're going to do those tail stands where you just wag it?
I'm gonna attempt to fly it.
Like those Tournament of Champion guys?
Yeah, with control line, that would be a
I
new
can't
maneuver.
believe it. They have a 200cc engine in one of those.
Yeah, four-cylinder.
I used to race.
Is it four-cylinder?
Four-cylinder.
Oh.
Hose, they are cool.
It's like a BMW motorcycle.
It was a 3W engine that they
Oh my gosh.
they custom made for
I
them.
used to race motorcycles.
What kind of money do they cost for that?
What's that?
What kind of money is that engine? Thousands. Oh, it's not.
You figure that he's been a tournament of champions.
Yeah, money's
First
a
place finisher. He's been in the world championships. He flies pattern and stuff. It's all.
Yeah. It's like when I buy my wife a doll. Just doesn't count. If you have to ask, you can't buy it.
This what I did is I got pointers from Wendy on molding the cowl. This was just molded over a styrofoam form, a male styrofoam plug, and I discovered a new way of doing it. I use condoms on it.
Okay.
What I do is I make the mold first, and then
Guys, that's called balloon molding.
balloon molding. I couldn't find balloons big enough. The condoms are actually a lot easier to work. They don't. First of all, they're easy to blow up. So one condom over the mold, then epoxy and fiberglass with a ring of carbon fiber.
And you get a nice surface that way too.
That's
Relatively nice.
virtually out of the mold. All I did was spray some paint and then another condom over the top.
Yep.
And what I do is I put it on real slow, and as I let the air out, I let the thing ooze, and all the extra epoxy
goes out.
dries right out the front.
And how much does that cowling weigh? Let me see, Howard. Yeah, it's like a B-25 cowl.
It's about an ounce and a half because of the screws and the plywood.
We just finished Midgley's carbon fuselage for his Cardinal.
Oh, you did?
Nomex and carbon. No formers.
No kidding.
No formers.
Total shell.
Well, it's like that wing is over there. That's a carbon fiber wing, and the Typhoon's a carbon. But on Miss Ash, it's carbon fiber. But the Nomex on a fuselage, you've got to get it to curve around. Work perfectly.
This is the thing.
Oh, this is what I like. Yeah.
Okay, now this is what I call a modular engine mount system.
See how nice that comes out? One piece.
I have a primary and a secondary firewall. It comes out as one piece. My clunk tank just goes in there. It's a standard 4-ounce Sullivan clunk. And right now, it's not fastened in, it's just wedged in.
And it's good for a clunk if you're going to taxi around. A clunk works.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
filler stays at the bottom.
Where a normal stunt tank is when it gets down to the last ounce, it's a problem.
Now, if I want to change engines, this is a standard RC mount here. If I want to change engines, all I have to do is bolt on another mount here and drill it and tap it for the particular engine.
Right.
And I may have to...
And the mounts you can just buy for $5 or something, whatever they
The
are.
only thing I might have to do is, depending on the side, the head configuration,
Yeah, make another cowl.
make another cowl or just open this up, or if it's like the Enya, we'll clear this.
Now, if you were really smart, what you would do is take this cowl and cover this opening. Hold this for a second.
Go ahead, I got it.
Just put tape over this.
Yeah?
And let it come out an eighth. Tape around here an eighth of an inch. Turn it upside down and make a rubber mold.
Oh, I never tried
Now you could make a cowling. I mean,
a female mold instead of a...
in other words, you don't have to make the foam plug again.
Okay, well, the foam plug is not lost. The foam plug is...
Oh, then you can make it the normal way then.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was just trying to figure a way you could make more cowlings.
There's a slight draft on here.
Beautiful.
So when I was done, I
You
made
can pull it right out without...
a little tiny slit, open it, pull the
We pulled out Midgley's mold. It's in 2,000. I think it's still in the garbage over there. It's in 2 million pieces.
No, it's totally intact. The mold is totally intact.
Well, I see one person who prefers... He says, well, you painted it the right color there, Wendy. I'm not kidding. You're going to go live with Bruce Hunt if Gracie if you're not good.
This is what I call Z Black. It's a metallic black I've come up with through experimenting. You know the aluminum paste that you buy from Randolph's?
Yeah.
The filler paste.
Right.
I've been experimenting, mixing it with black.
Mix it with black,
It
yeah.
acts as a slight filler, but it gives it an inch. You should see it out in the sun.
Oh, yeah, it's
It
beautiful.
looks like more like a gunmetal gray. I call
Yeah,
it Z Black.
that is nice.
And that's it. That's
neat.
I want to do something different, and as they say, what the beauty of a round cowling, a round fuselage, is you have so much room inside to tinker. And
That is one heck of a piece of work. You know the difference is, Frank? A lot of people can't think outside the box. They got to think, what did the guy before me do, and will I be, get ostracized if I don't do exactly what he...
They're concerned more with being political.
Yeah, no. When you can build stuff like this, there's no limits, no box.
And you know, with
No bird.
I'm not a good enough flyer to ever compete, heavy duty. I'm a fun flyer. But I figure this ought to be a lot of fun, just because
Oh, I think it's fun just having it inside the house here.
I can't wait till till the weather breaks. I've got still a lot of work to do, but
In fact, if you go home and leave it here, I know how to fly Z-Tron. I'll even fly the test flight for you. We'll do it right now today while it's snowing.
That's neat.
thank you.
I think that's a nice little feature right there.
This is 2 pieces of 1/16 carbon fiber on the inside and outside. It's actually sandwiched. And the same with this one. And I made my own nuts for this one. They're little... I didn't want to go with the little blind mounting nuts.
No.
So what I did is I turned aluminum...
Not for a motor mount.
Exactly.
No
I
way.
turned aluminum discs, basically, threaded for the 440. And you can...
I remember when we had this at Middlesex last year, and you had this part.
I just started it,
Yes.
And
this is all fiberglass, right?
exactly.
I can see it's fiberglass.
Fiberglass over, and there's plywood and carbon fiber inside. It goes all the way, and also there's two 1/16-inch strips of plywood that come all the way forward. You see them in there?
It works as the bell crank mount too?
Everything.
Part of
What
it?
I'm trying to do is make it one modular piece that, everything will reinforce.
Right.
The only...
You basically have a structure, and the rest of it is more of a cosmetic shell than anything else.
Exactly. And I'm trying to keep all the stresses on the outer fiber like a true monocoque, because the stuff inside really doesn't do that much. My only problem, as I said, I didn't anticipate the amount of shrinkage on silk. See how I distorted the lingerie?
Well, that's silk though. You could always put...
Just cut it. All I do is cut this off, and I'll put regular paper on it.
I think if you put heavy tissue on there, it would even be fine.
Is that right?
Heavy silk span.
Just heavy silk span?
I'd put heavy, sure.
Yeah, silk is...
Silk never stops shrinking.
Exactly, especially with Randolph's dope on it.
Wow, with any dope on it.
Yeah, it's just... it's one...
Remember those old Larry Scarinzi combat jobs that would look like I-beamers when it shrunk down?
The beauty of silk is you saw how light it is on that wing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other thing, I built this wing in 4 separate pieces, Wendy. Rather than trying to build it as one, I have holes in it for carbon fiber rods, and I just set the ribs. There's no lead edge here. This is just formed over.
Oh, I know,
There's no
quarter-inch
spar,
square or
nothing,
whatever you call it.
Nothing. This is a piece that I just molded over and, soaked it in water and masking taped it on until it was dry. And then I took and glued it on. The trail edge is all built up also. And of course, the lower wing's heavy, but it carries everything.
Yeah.
So
You actually could fly this with the top wing off.
theoretically, I could.
Or you could make just a hatch for this too.
Exactly. It has
A beach with one E, Beechcraft.
yeah, the actual wing area, the total wing area is about 840 square inches.
It's what the B-25 is.
About that, yeah.
It's probably,
It's about, actually a little over 840, but if you subtract out the fuselage, I'm still right around 800 square inches. So the
at 52 ounces or 56, yeah, that's gonna be a brick.
56 ounces, I
You could
figure,
make an electric plane out of this thing.
I figure what I'm gonna do is see how it works out. If the 56 doesn't handle it.
Well, I got the 91s right in the drawer over there.
72. I flew the Red
Nah, go for the 91.
The first big stunt plane I ever flew in my life was his Red Baron. I stuck an Enya 53 four-stroke. We took a Super Tiger 60 out, went down to an Enya 53.
Yeah.
The plane weighed 77 ounces, and you could fly along. Remember you flew it a minute?
Yes, yes.
You could.
We all flew it. Danny flew it when you first had it.
Didn't care, and that little Enya 53. When I brought it to the field the first time, some of the guys picked it up and said, "This isn't going to even fly," And I said, I started wondering, "Is it going to fly?" It turns out it just jumped off the ground with the smaller engine.
That was really,
Larger prop?
I'm
Was it
not
a
too
larger
sure
prop
what
than what you had with the
what did you
61?
used to use?
Frank, the truth is, now the politically incorrect truth, he was the first one that I ever saw that had a competitive four-stroke that I ran home and built one. I mean, other people had them, they were in Ringmasters and stuff, but when he had that at Middlesex, that day, Danny went home and built the plane, I went home and built, 4 or 5 other guys, Joe Adamusco went up, guys saw it and they said, "There's something there." We're still not sure what it is, but it's there. And this is going to be, this is the next logical step here, is how this is going to work
The
out.
other thing, to my knowledge, nobody's ever built a big biplane for stunt. So,
Well, whoever gets to the field first, you or Joe, because I know Joe's is,
yeah, Joe's is a little one.
well, but doesn't matter, little, big, small,
But he said
it's not a big
He's in
contest.
silver now. Latest Brodak kit. I just finished up the prototype for John.
This is the prototype,
Exactly.
the Brodak Vampire.
Yeah, it was designed in the late 40s by the same fellow who did the Viking. So naturally, it's old-time stunt legal. And this was built 100% from the kit and all Brodak parts. From the controls, the paint, everything was supplied by John.
Okay. And this is already available or going to be available?
It will be available.
Be available soon.
He's already set up the laser to cut, in fact, all the ribs, tail feathers were cut with the laser cutter.
Okay, and John's doing all laser cutting, he's converting everything over to laser
Everything's going
cutting.
to be laser cut.
Okay, great.
And it's built exactly per plans, except I went with a removable hatch for the tank.
Okay, so we got a little sneak preview here of
Exactly.
old-time stunt next year at Brodak's.
And I found in my accumulation of engines, I found a virtually brand-new 1951 Fox 29. As you can see,
Oh, wow.
right.
Yeah, that's real good. Yeah, if I wax his finger.
It's got an old plastic coat tornado prop. We're going to fly this at Old Time Stunt, at the Brodak event this year.
Sign me up. You know what, you ought to tell Danny, finish that ignition engine thing. I gave him the ignition engine.
Yeah, he's got something going on there, too.
Good. I want to fly that at I want to win old time at
And
Brodak's
feel the
one
weight
year.
of this. Now, I did no weight cutting measures at all. It's actually nose heavy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lighter spinner in
Yeah,
there.
you could get a lighter spinner than that on
But
it.
it weighs about 24 ounces, so it should be
Wow.
a nice flying little airplane. Very
Should be
simple,
fabulous.
simple, straightforward.
Easy to
And
build.
It went together beautifully. And I put nice slow controls on it, traditional cloth hinges, and it's a Brodak paint system, clear, primer, one coat of color, one coat of white, one coat of black. How
Beautiful.
nicely it covered.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
2 coats of clear, and I didn't rub it or anything. I just want to see how it would come out without any work at all. So this is exactly the way the paint was sprayed on. And
Fantastic.
that
That's a
paint-
nice little sneak preview. And obviously, this is the first one built.
This is the first one of the kit, and this will probably become the box art. He's already made, the decals were made.
Yeah, the decals look cute.
The decals really came out nice. We have them top and bottom.
Chicky approves.
As long as Chicky approves, and
That's the test. The test of all good testimonies. The mother of all old-time stuff. Well, we hope you enjoyed the visit with Bob, visit with Frank Finelli, Dave and Woody, and we are working on some pretty exciting stuff. In the past few days, Dave has reported to me his carbon fuselage is coming out better than his wildest expectations. We hope we're going to be seeing that again in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. Give you a wild guess who that is. And we've been working in our spare time on our O-gauge train layout. Have a couple more buildings for it, some more accessory items we're going to be putting on a separate website that Elliot's working on right now. And we're going to be there for the first day of Bob Zambelli's test flying his beach with the retracts, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting. That looks like one heck of a model to me. And of course we have a lot of new parts for the B-25. We're expecting to fly that for the whole contest season, even the Nats. It's just going to be the best of all times. I just don't know how much more fun things can get. We've had a brutally cold winter, but we certainly have had a lot of adventures in the world of model aviation, and we're hoping that Les is going to be back in the shop soon, continue working on his 40 project, and we're going to go all out, pull out all the stops to get that model ready for him for the spring. And if you enjoyed the video, please share it with your friends, and please share it with everybody. And of course, we're really looking forward to seeing that first Strega kit come off the production line. It's all coming, and it's coming soon. We'll see you on the next tape.